Hey there, thanks for tuning into the episode. I wanted to take a moment to tell you about Anchor by Spotify. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When you're hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast to listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place, and best of all, Anchor's completely free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That is anchor.fm, anchor.fm. Now back to the episode.
Hours to it.
I try to as well, but that can be getting in the way too, bro.
It could.
So I hear about things like that too. I hear about like Eminem and J. Cole, like them dudes kind of have a work schedule like the way they do.
Yeah, music. I've heard about Eminem. He's like,
he goes there like work.
Leaving at 5.
Right, work straight up. But at the same time, that takes years of practice and discipline, and you can always implement that into your life.
Definitely.
And them dudes really are rich, so that's all they really got to do all day is figure that type of shit out. Or a lot of some of our
they weren't doing that when they were hustling.
Right. You gotta.
He was 24/7 trying to get his CDs out.
That's the thing, man. It's just like you
once you make it, you can sit back.
Once you consider yourself valuable, once you feel like you're valuable, then you got to put yourself out there. Then you got to wait for other people to realize you're valuable. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's all a process, and it's all like. I remember me and you talked about this a while back. You could be shitty, you know what I'm saying? But if someone who has some kind of ability believes in you, they could give you something and change your life, and you could still have been shitty. It doesn't mean that you even did something to be good, but they seen it in you. Like, I can, like you might not always see it in yourself. Especially like you, bro. Like, you've been able to do this forever, so you might not realize how unique this talent is. Yeah. Not everybody can just do this type of shit. Like, I can't. Like, I look at it as communication, right? Some of us are great with words, Some of us can have this feeling because the feeling's first, The words come after the feeling. The feeling has to be first the words describe the feeling, right?
Yeah.
So some of us are better at it with pictures. Like, how do you feel like you have like a photographic memory? You know what I mean? Like, how do you?
Oh yeah, this is that. Every panel, everything you see is definitely in my head before I drew it.
But how do you maintain that in your head? Do you think you could do this on a grand scale? You know what I'm saying? Like paint a wall with something like that?
Oh yeah.
You could, because you would have to keep that in your head.
Yeah.
And you're taking yourself to different points of it at the same time, like. Yeah, that is something that takes conditioning, bro.
It is conditioning, and it's years of practice, and it's something that I didn't realize I was conditioning myself for.
Right, that's cool.
And then one day you wake up and you go, oh, this, like, I'm constantly looking at everything, like, oh, how do I draw that? How do I draw you? Like, your face right now, the shading on your face would be a bitch to draw.
That's weird. It's crazy.
Me off. How you're, there you go. Into the light of one.
Bro, see, that's crazy though, man. Like,
I imagine that's how it is when you listen to music, or when if she were to read something, is that you know the process. You know how a beat's made. When you listen to a beat, you know what's clipped, you know what's looped, you know, oh, this dude, And that's the same thing with art. And it would be so annoying if I made music, because music's such a big part of my life. If I were to make it, I feel like it would affect my listening to it.
100% do, yeah. I don't listen to music the same, even the slightest bit.
And that would be that's a deal breaker for me.
It's almost not the shittiest thing in the world, bro, because I felt like I was so stubborn as a listener.
Right.
Like, I was like, go ahead, my bad.
What?
Get your
next page?
Yeah, next page.
Awesome.
I almost just felt like I was, I knew what a great song was, and if it wasn't that, then it ain't a great song. So,
yeah,
but then you create a song, and you're like, oh, I have a whole new perspective, like on how this is even done. Because like we were saying earlier, bro, you go to the movies and watch a movie, you don't think about the lighting,
hours.
Yeah, like just the little shit that it takes to make this shit happen. You're just taking in what you're getting. So
it's a team. I mean, it's
a huge team. And even the main people, like, you do jobs that you wouldn't have to do on a set. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're broke and we have to do this type of shit. But on a set, like, I heard Nipsey say this, bro. He was saying, like, he gets in a room with an engineer and they're like, oh, well, you can't do that. And he's like, oh, well, get out of the chair, bro, because I'm an engineer. I can do that. I was poor at one point. I did all this shit. I feel like that's how we are. You know what I'm saying? We wear all the hats because we have no other option.
Which I like it that way.
I like it that way. But
it feels very meant to be.
Sometimes it's draining, though, because like you saying about how Facebook's a market and I ain't really tapped into that because it seems like I do so much shit that Facebook, it just seems like it's going to...
like another...
Yeah, it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back at this point. I'm stressed.
No one really plans that. Like, you don't go into social media going, I'm going to blow up on Instagram. It usually goes, and I listen to a lot of creators, they go, and my TikTok's not doing good, but I posted that same video on Instagram, it's got millions of views.
That's crazy, bro. I've seen that too. It's very weird.
And it's like hitting the lottery. Your video going viral is like hitting the lottery. Yeah. Unless you're a well fucking named motherfucker, bro. I go on TikTok, I see people like Dr. Phil. I see people like fucking celebrities. And their videos aren't doing my numbers.
Really?
That's a weird feeling. When you see someone with a well-known name,
it just brings you eye level with them. It's kind of like...
You like, I know this platform better than you.
Yeah, and it's like you held it kind of.
It gives you a confidence boost.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you realize the pedestal you're holding.
Yeah.
Certain people on based on certain things like numbers like that. Because at the end of the day, that's just a person who probably has the same ambitions as you sitting inside of them. Who one day didn't have shit to show for them, but gradually earned that. But like you was saying, bro, I seen some chick earlier who had this crazy following on Instagram and not very much a following on Facebook, which is just weird to me.
Yeah.
Seems like...
I think it would go...
just hand in hand or something.
Because, like, I mean, did you watch Story on any, like, did you go on Facebook or YouTube and...
I've been on YouTube. It's pretty much strictly Instagram, which is
exactly
weird. And he's very
he's coming on YouTube.
Yeah. but he's very not big on Twitter. He's very small on Twitter for some reason.
It's weird.
That's weird. I think that's weird.
But it's
super weird, bro. Like values on different platforms, but that's a big thing too.
You,
it's something to think about too, though. Different platforms have different. Like TikTok's a very short form content thing. Like. YouTube, me and you were talking about this. You don't go on TikTok for
comics are gonna thrive at, I think.
Well, but you don't go on TikTok looking for hour-long content. You just don't. You ain't going on there to watch an interview.
You go there to distract yourself.
So that's why I think it's cool that you got other platforms like Webtoons and shit like that.
Webtoons I'm excited for, man.
Bro, let me go take a fucking piss. I'm full.
It's gonna be amazing.
Is it at Webtoons?
Yeah, it's an app.
Did you check out Linktree yet?
No, but I want to. I could probably hook that up too.
Linktree's really cool. You can
free.
You can do a lot with Linktree. It makes it really easy for people to explore your different platforms.
I need to.
Dude, a lot of these websites, man, it's like it's like knowing somebody. Like that Headlines website is just like knowing somebody that is good at headlines or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like little tools that make your life easier as a creator. Because like even a lot of the shit I do, bro, I feel like I want to act like I did it all. But even the podcast, like you have helped tremendously in terms of what the podcast is.
Mm-hmm.
You have lent a good amount of your energy to it as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I care about it, man. I mean, I always wanted a podcast.
It is cool to see.
You're the only one that's ever like took that initiative. That's the biggest step, is that initiative.
What was crazy for me was realizing how monetizable it is. I don't know if I told you this yet, Jadie, but if you get host read ads after 50 listeners. So you'll start getting like ads after 50 listeners. You know what I'm saying? So where you don't really get paid a whole lot. It's like $15 every 1,000 plays or something.
But
But
that's fucking good.
It just made it seem possible for me. When I seen that 50 listeners, I was like, oh, I better start putting work in. That's when I was like, bro, let's fucking make some podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is possible. It's no longer like an idea. We can fucking do this.
And especially when our conversations are already like that, you know?
And that's what I thought, too, was the dope thing about me and you was we would have this conversation anyways.
For years.
We would talk about this same shit anyway, so.
Anyways, yeah.
And I think this is almost a dope thing because with the right, if you allow it to push you in the right way, it almost puts a good pressure on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's cool to be in creative mode, and you got to be in learning mode too, but you got to teach some of the things you learn. Like, you fucking, I remember you said something about that website, like that TikTok conversion website that takes off the watermarks, like.
Yeah.
Or even that headlines website, little shit like that, bro. Is somebody who's trying to start their own podcast and just deemed that valuable. They seen that and they were like, oh shit, I can go run with that. This will help my podcast.
Right.
I love the idea of being creative, bro.
I love it too.
Like being able to have an idea and see it
actually happen.
Yeah, like it's just cool.
It always, for some reason, is better. And if it's
Super
not
real.
better, then you didn't get your vision out.
Right. You think better than the one you had in your head, you said?
Yeah. Because for years, I mean, I drew these characters and shit, and I was like always, I guess, half-assing it and stuff. I was always pissed off that, man, this don't look like what it does in my head.
Right.
And then I started putting more time into it. I highlighted and added shadows, and I went, okay, this is exactly how it is in my head. Oh, wait, no, it's better than what it is in my head. And after I did that, I went, maybe I should highlight and add shadows. And after I did that, it looked so much more official. I was so doubting on myself. But that's only because I stopped working.
Right. That's a huge thing too, man, is you want to believe it's talent, but at the end of the day,
it's work.
Yeah, if you're putting that, you're exercising that muscle. That's why it's strong.
I wish it was just talent.
Right.
It's that and then some. And that's the shitty thing is, it's like you can't just tell someone who can't draw that. It's like, no, it's all work. No, it's work, talents, it's everything put together. Like you really gotta have a jack of all trades.
What's cool is when you fall in love with your process, because then that's when you let go of the results and the outcome, and just like you fall in love with the hard work
and learning your process.
Right.
Bro, I'm a very firm believer. Like my process, like when I do this shit, I almost treat it as a moment. I almost have to work with people and learn on it. I can't do both. I can't do. I have to do both. If I just do it alone, it doesn't turn out good. If I just do it with people, it don't turn out good.
I feel that way, bro. So how do you balance that?
You do both.
Do you delegate things like this, like JD writes, and
I take my opportunities with people more seriously than my own, because I feel like it's way more easier to manage your time alone. You have way more time alone than you do with other people. To have your time or to have her time, you have a life, she has a life. So if I get that opportunity, I'm all up for it. Like I very much will hardly pass up the opportunity to hang out if I feel like it's gonna be for this reason.
Right.
I am known to ignore people. I'm known
you're pretty unresponsive, but I don't chalk that up to like
I'm known to not.
I just kind of chalk that up to you're like living your life and you got shit to do. I don't really think about it like you.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, I don't like, because I know we got our own thing going, and I don't want to focus on that until I'm able to focus on that. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
I don't want to keep on giving you half-assed answers like, no, I didn't do that yet. No, I didn't do that yet.
You definitely got to take some time to be alone for sure and get some shit done.
Definitely.
I think when it gets overwhelming is when you feel like you can do it all on your own and you try to not come out the house and shit. That gets a little overwhelming.
About 2 days ago, man, I had most of these speech bubbles filled in, and yeah, she came through like a knight in shining armor, dude, and just went, well, let's shorten that. and let's shorten that, and let's stretch that. And everything she was doing just made so much sense. And that's why I really feel like this is a no-brainer why it's going to get big, is that the art behind it works very, very hard.
I like your handwriting, dude, as the...
Which
as
one?
like the font.
Yeah, I really wanted it to... the font to be like a handwritten. Most comics are.
Right.
It's more pleasing. And there's actually a website where I'm able to write out the alphabet
Let me.
and use it as a font.
I have to go.
Like you're able to write,
Oh, no shit.
and then you can just use,
That's
you have it
fucking
saved.
cool, man.
I
What's
really
that
wanna
website
do
called?
that. I don't know.
That's
I wish I
unfortunate.
knew. I know I have a video saved.
That's a gym, bro. That's a gym.
It is a gym because it
lost
is
gym.
dope. Because you just write A lowercase, A uppercase, B lowercase, B uppercase. You know,
Cool, man.
go through the whole alphabet, and then you can just use it.
Because a lot of the artwork I do, bro, is a lot of times I feel like I get lazy with it, or like the channels of create, like the channels I can't quite. It's like I'm not getting my point across with the tools I have on Canvas, maybe.
Dude, Canvas is sick.
It's dope, bro. It's
I love
like,
Canvas.
like
But
I'm-
there's definitely limitations to every platform, you know?
especially if you got the free version, man. If you ain't paying for these platforms, bro, it's like, you know. And there's
They
so
definitely
many-
save the best shit for the paid
Yeah.
version.
And there's so many different platforms. It costs all this money to even have all these paid versions. It's like, oh, it's crazy.
Alright.
I gotta pay for just the music to be distributed. Just webtoons and shit like that. Does that cost money? That's what's
It
the.
don't cost money, but if your thing gets big enough, they'll have you as a Webtoons original.
Right.
And man, I have too much love and too much passion. I put way too much effort for it to just not go unnoticed. And it hasn't gone unnoticed. Like I've got a lot of fucking love for just Doozy the Dove.
Just put content you're proud of and promote it. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do, bro. So,
Right.
put content you think's dope and promote it. And then it's really out of your hands.
That's the crazy thing. Like, I have another series, like Super Space Monkey Man. It's about this like one-eyed space monkey. Dude, I'm just sitting on so many ideas.
But that's cool though, because you flush this one all the way out and you still have that one.
Yeah.
You know, that's in the bank.
Like if you see right here, like this was years ago, but I drew Marvin, and then right there's Doozy the Duck, and then there's Super Space Monkey Man. I forget who that guy is. Dude, I have nothing but.
So you were taking, I feel like you were
Behind
taking
the
this
scenes.
one, kind of, you were taking that one serious for a while. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I have a. Where is it?
You feel like you do that, kind of go back and forth between different ideas sometimes?
Oh yeah, because if
Sure.
you look at this right here, fucking. Where's it at?
Do you think that's ADHD or do you think that's part of creativity? It's like you kind of, to stay inspired, gotta bounce back and forth a little bit.
I think it goes into what you said is like you feel like you got, get everything out of you. And Doozy is so innocent. Doozy
Right.
is so it's like a tragedy. Like everything bad happens to me. So when I'm in that mood of like, dude, I'm like being so nice, and I'm like, I don't deserve this. Like, why is this bad shit happening to me? And then that's when like I get into the mood of feeling I should draw this guy. But with Marvin, he's some selfish, arrogant prick. So like, he's like that anger in me. He's that like the fool, the negative. So, and I definitely feel myself starting to, like these characters start to come out a little bit. Like I do get a little more angry if I'm drawing someone else angry.
Creativity is super derivative from your own. Like Jadie said, it's like it's definitely got your personality in it. And not only that, the idea, like being creative, the process is an emotional thing. Like you pull from real emotions to be creative, you know?
I swear to God, I think it was last night, I made myself think of like a bunch of fucked up shit that's happened in my life, like at once. And I did it because I wanted to wake myself up.
Something creativity. That's why I feel like it's therapeutic in a lot of ways, because it's like you're going through those emotions. Sometimes you're sitting with them. Sometimes you're sitting with them. That's shitty.
I would explain it as it's like having a baby. This is literally coming out of you, and you have to feed it. You have to nurture it. You have to take care of it. This thing is very emotional. You want to see this succeed. You want nothing but the best for your baby. You'll do everything. You'll lose sleep over this. You'll, tire yourself out over your beats. Or editing the podcast. Like, it's something that's always on your mind. Your kids are always on your mind. You're giving life to something that wasn't there.
I've just never. What's weird for me, bro, is like I don't really feel super in the moment of making music. Like, I'm not always super driven or passionate.
Yeah.
But I've also never felt satisfied how I do now creatively. Like my whole life, I've never felt like, now.
It's always the next step.
Yeah, but like even like we was always, I don't know, man. Like we were always having interesting conversations. We were always capable of this type of shit.
Yeah.
But we weren't always doing it. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, for the longest time, bro, I didn't feel like this shit was possible.
I didn't either.
Or I didn't know how to make it possible. So it was like,
and it always was.
It was always possible, but everything's too, I feel like, kind of about timing in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me and you were, for a long time, we were fucking,
Yeah.
So it's like,
doing stupid shit.
but I feel like at that point, it was like, I was always.
That was a bad time in our lives, bro.
But we were always who we are. It's just sometimes you just, I don't know, man.
Well, it definitely affected our friend group. Like, it definitely it should let you know who's gonna keep doing it and who's not.
But I don't feel like we weren't always friends, because at first it wasn't drugs. Like, it wasn't drugs in the beginning that started my friendships, but somewhere along the lines became blurry. Where it's like,
I'm not hanging out with that
up and shit, because like I find it hard to be creative sometimes by myself. It's like I'm stagnant, or I'm in the way or some shit.
Yeah.
I like to be in a creatively collaborative environment, even if you're doing your thing over here and I'm doing my thing over here. It's like
even just
creative energy.
Even just saying it out loud helps.
Yeah.
Like, if I show you something and you don't even have anything to say, like, that just helps.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you're speaking it into existence.
Some kind of way.
More real now. Right?
Yeah. You showed it to somebody. It's like, it's not
just
just
doing that.
Yeah, it's not just something in your head.
Now the next time I show you, it's gotta have something else.
I feel like what drives me a lot of times is like, I just kind of want to see how good I can get it, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, with this, I've learned so much about that app that I didn't even know before. Like, there's a whole nother tool called the selection tool. That's literally, it's almost like,
on that drawing
working with this comic book. It's expanded like my assets. Like, I know how to work these tools better.
Right.
And if I would have known before, like, God, that would have saved me a lot of time.
That's the 10,000 hours, right?
It is.
The talent
and
is
I
the
really
talent.
feel like, I leveled up. I just,
right.
I got a key in my pocket now that I'll be able to use for the next project and the next project. And I didn't fucking realize it until like the 5th or 6th page after this. So
Right.
like, I was like,
It takes that.
really amazed by myself. And I was like, dude, this tool's been there the whole fucking time.
Bro.
A selection tool, right?
Bro.
I don't need 100 layers. Like, you seen
Bro.
that one that was 100? The next one's like 50.
I've gone through my own shit with that, bro. I swear to God, I've gone through my own shit with that. Where you were just like, are you serious?
You've been there in front of my face.
Yeah,
It's like,
where you just figured out how to work something, and you're like, what the fuck, man?
I've been doing this for a whole year.
Yeah, like, it's
You know how much art I've done? Like,
but I want to believe there's some reason why that happened, you know?
exactly.
And even if there ain't, you look for one just to keep yourself going through it. But It's crazy, though.
It does start to just click after that.
It seems like
It feels meant to be.
what's weird is I didn't realize how much I learned until I got somebody in the room with me, and like I got my little brother in there when he was making beats, and I was like doing shit fast, and I kind of realized in that moment like, oh shit,
You remember when it was
like a year ago, yeah, I could do all this shit, yeah, I was like an old man, like one finger and shit.
one finger. Now you just that fucking cursor just.
It's just at 10,000 hours. It's like I know what I want to do. These are just tools to help me do it. It's like words and feelings. I got the feeling. These are my words. Now I'm going to use them to convey the feeling.
A lot of people confuse that 10,000 hours. And 10,000 hours has to be working hours. You know, like
10,000 hours is an interesting concept, man. But it's something like those little concepts have always been something I've learned to believe in. The 10,000 hours, and even like the law of attraction and shit like that, because I don't know, it kind of helps. It kind of eases the. It's almost like religion for death. It's almost kind of explains the things that ain't explainable. It's like eases your mind a little bit or something, giving yourself reasons why you're not successful. But at the end of the day, what are you not really taking care of? What T's are you not crossing, and what I's are you not dotting? Because you're pretty much doing what you can do. So
sometimes I feel like I cross my eyes and dot my T's.
it's backwards.
You know?
You fucking living ass backwards.
Sometimes it be like that.
Yeah, I heard Cal Scooby one time said, like, everybody, like, you want to look over, you get so caught up in results and what you're doing, and you see somebody next to you further, and you're like, man, like, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, but you're not.
But at the end of the day, you're not. There's no way
no
to do
wrong,
things.
there's no right way. There's only your way.
That is what it is. You all can do the exact same thing and make it blow up, and you not to blow up. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's all weird. That's why at the end of the day, I try to, because I've said it a few times in this time we've been talking, is be validated for your process and your hard work, because that's hard, bro. It's hard to not validate yourself externally. Every time a notification goes off on my phone, I'm like looking, hoping it's something to do with music or something.
Like, I remember always wanted validation. And then once I got it, it wasn't what I thought it would be.
Right. That's a lot of
I would
shit.
always expect someone to look at this and feel the same thing that I feel.
Right. Like be mind blown by it or something.
Yeah, like, God damn it.
And some people will be, but at the end of the day, it's like not everybody.
Like, this gives me the same feeling that theirs did. Like, in my mind, this is colored, this is highlighted, that's
Right.
shaded.
You see the vision.
I see the vision, but no one else does. So when I show people that and they don't see it,
Right.
it bugs me.
But at the same time, that's why you are who you are, is because you have that, you know, you have that vision, and you're willing to take it there and make it there.
I can't believe this is actually happening.
I think it's cool, man. It's like we're taking steps. It is what it is.
It's
Keep
dope.
taking steps, man. I think it's super cool that y'all collaborate on this. Like you find a way to.
It's, yeah.
You know,
Not a lot of people have that.
yeah, I don't.
That's a very rare thing.
I have to trust you.
Especially steps. It's like
Right.
like the stars that I had to align for this to happen. It was like generations of misery.
I feel like you all are kind of similar-minded.
Yeah.
All you are.
Like my dad had a very similar life as her mom. And a
Right.
fucking piece of shit. Drug-headed fucking abandoned us. Pretty much at the same age. I mean, I was the oldest out of Sierra and Sine, and she was the oldest of Gabe and Jewel. And I think me and her were the most affected by that shit.
Well, it's definitely
The
like that
oldest.
for sure.
And yeah, I mean, this is crazy, but the amount of support from our family that we're gonna have over this book.
Yeah.
I can't believe, who's Jonathan? He has his lock screens doozy Jordan.
Jordan Robbins?
You know,
Jordan
that guy that
Robbins.
fucking walks past me every day and doesn't think I'll get paid for this.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you, though. It's like, when I'm asking you that, I'm saying, like, Because that's why I want to have a following
Yeah.
that converts into me not having to go to work.
Yes.
You know, I want to do this.
And that's what my vision is. Because if I have 100 people that are diehard fans, and I have them pay $1 a month, even if 20 people do that, that's 20 a month. And then if I sell shirts on top of that, if I sell stickers, if I sell
It's a huge
physical copies, like that's just, you have them loyal fans.
Well, bro, it's a sobering thing though, is when you do a lot of things and nothing still happens, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like,
But I think that's the other thing is like you don't go to a creator of their first thing. And I've already had so much shit back. So like it's coming. Like it's only bettering my chances by putting more shit out there.
definitely.
And this will be my 4th time.
Yeah, definitely
I'm
more,
done.
more
Done?
shit.
Yeah. Is Gut saying, we don't have a dog. We can have right here. We can have just a tiny little bubble with Guts.
Yeah,
They don't
that
have a
got
dog.
little swirl. ... So what's on this page? Just so I can draw up the speech bubbles. This one. Because
there's gonna be
the door will
a
be...
knock at the door, so you're gonna have to write knock knock.
The door will be right.